allowed her that emotion.
This was a drive-in right here. Was not called a foul. And wow, I gotta tell you, it was on and popping in this game.
Even make a move to try to keep Burton off.
Caitlin crashed out on the refs. Right here. Right here. She lost it. And you could tell at one point in the game, later after this, she got pulled out of the game, and I think she slammed the table on the way out of the game. But this is another look at this.
The basketball world has been rocked by a wave of new controversy. According to a respected sports writer, fresh reporting has raised difficult questions about how the Indiana Fever have handled CaitlinClark's rise. Rumors are swirling after claims of internal communications that allegedly reveal efforts to shape the narrative surrounding the second-year star. While those claims remain the subject of debate, the story has already sparked intense discussion across the league. Has the Fever's approach to managing CaitlinClark become their biggest controversy yet?
Are they, my only logic is that they are hoping that something bad happens during this game tonight, so that they can say, well, look, this has happened. This is, we're reporting this whole fan base and something happened tonight.
The Indiana Fever are facing intense scrutiny as fresh reports fuel new controversy. According to a respected sports writer with league sources, questions are being raised about how the organization has handled CaitlinClark's rise. This isn't random social media speculation. It comes from a reporter whose claims have sparked widespread debate.
I'm going to give the referee some credit here. The referee didn't even give her a technical. In this moment, this was the first time I've ever seen that the referee actually treated her like her name was LeBron James.
Let's just call it what it is. The most shameful act of self-destruction ever carried out by a professional sports league. The Indiana Fever have finally gotten the recognition they have long wanted, and it seems their response is to make fun of the player who has brought them millions of new fans, CaitlinClark. The whole situation started with the now famous investigation into alleged racial slurs during the Indiana Fever versus Golden State Valkyries game. Remember that game? Clark scored an incredible triple-double. The Fever also broke 11 records by beating the Valkyries by 35 points. Instead of celebrating this amazing achievement, the WNBA launched an investigation based on tweets, not on actual evidence, audio, or video recordings. Christine Brennan, a respected journalist for USA Today, recently revealed something much more concerning. According to her sources, the investigation was never really about protecting players from racist abuse. The real goal was to find something that would take attention away from Clark's impressive performance. Brennan claims that in a leaked internal message from the league office, a senior WNBA official said, "Need to find balance in coverage. See momentum becoming troublesome for league narrative." You read that correctly? A league executive is saying that a player's popularity is a problem. Imagine the NBA saying that LeBron James being popular is bad for the league. It is astonishing how absurd this is, but it only gets worse. Brennan's report describes a communications plan that was created weeks before the Fever Golden State game. On the surface, it might sound sensible. The plan outlined ways to make sure all players get fair coverage, but specifically, it described ways to limit articles that focus on Clark and shift media attention, no matter how well she plays. This explains a lot about how the league has handled Clark since she joined the WNBA. Her defense has been criticized over and over. Her historic achievements have been downplayed. Her body language and facial expressions have received strange amounts of attention. This wasn't just random reporters with hidden agendas. The league seems to have had a real, well-thought-out strategy. Let's talk about this investigation for a moment. 3 days after it was announced, the WNBA said they had no timeline for finishing it. Why? Because there is nothing defined. Natalie Nakase of the Golden State Valkyries, who used to coach in Indiana, said clearly that she did not hear anything inappropriate during the game. Many witnesses said there was nothing more than normal basketball trash talk. At what some tried to call racist chanting, they used a sound effect that is commonly played at NBA arenas, including Pacers games. It sounds like a meme. That is all it was. And that was the cause of this whole controversy. So why is the investigation still going on? According to Brennan's sources, the league is waiting to admit there is no evidence until something else happens. They are literally waiting for another controversy to overshadow this one. That is not how journalism works. That does not protect players. It is damage control for a wound they caused themselves. As one WNBA source told Brennan, they're trying to find out how, in a society where practically everything is recorded, no sound or video of these claimed statements exists because nothing happened. The investigation itself has hurt the Indiana Fever's fan base. It has created a story that only exists on social media, not in reality. The league started its investigation based on unproven tweets. They validated baseless accusations. They basically ignored an entire fan base just to take attention away from Clark's incredible achievement. There were concerns inside the league about where things were heading. As one employee put it, there is internal concern over Clark's popularity creating a scenario where casual fans only care about one player. Instead of using her popularity to grow the whole league, there is this strange anger and a strong effort to minimize her. Why would a league that has struggled with attendance, popularity, and mainstream attention for years deliberately want to undermine its biggest star? Brennan's reporting gives us some interesting insights. First, one of the main concerns seems to be competitive balance in media coverage. Some league officials claim that letting Clark represent the WNBA could push away other stars and their fan groups. That might make sense in theory, but in practice it shows a basic misunderstanding of how sports marketing works. Every successful sports league has its star players. According to Brennan's sources, a number of influential people in the league are worried about the changing demographics of the WNBA fan base. Some are genuinely concerned that Clark's new fans don't fit the perfect image. One person who spoke to Brennan said the most confusing part is that new fans are seen with suspicion instead of as a chance for growth. The WNBA has fought for financial survival, media attention, and popularity for many years. They finally have it, mostly because of Clark's appeal. But some in the league seem to view this as a problem rather than an opportunity. Let's be more specific. Clark is not just popular. She is bringing attention to women's basketball that no one has ever seen before. Her games sell out arenas. They break viewership records. Her merchandise sells out. Networks fight to broadcast her games. This is a huge win that women's basketball should be celebrating. Instead, we get investigations based on tweets and internal plans to limit coverage of the league's biggest star. This is organizational malpractice at the highest level. Brennan's report gives examples of how this anti-Clark approach has shown up during her career. After she broke the NCAA scoring record, internal WNBA communications suggested downplaying it by emphasizing that she played more games than previous record holders. When she increased draft viewership, the marketing focused on the overall quality of the draft class instead of her impact. Even more telling, when Clark got her first WNBA triple-double last season, becoming the fastest rookie to do it, the league's official social media first highlighted a different player's achievement from the same game. It wasn't until people complained that they properly acknowledged Clark's historic performance. Brennan's report shows this goes beyond public relations and social media. It also affects officiating. There have allegedly been discussions about using officiating strategies to limit Clark's impact on games. It is normal for teams to discuss how to defend certain players. Stars usually get special calls. A veteran referee told Brennan that rookies don't get those calls yet, which is normal. But he said he has never heard of an officiating strategy that purposely reduces the effectiveness or appeal of one player. This could explain why Clark, who was the most fouled player in college basketball, has had such inconsistent officiating in the WNBA. She doesn't get the same calls as a veteran. She seems to be allowed to take more physical punishment than other guards. The WNBA has denied all of these claims. Their official statement says Brennan's reporting is baseless and not worth responding to. But notably, they have not answered any of the specific accusations. They haven't explained why they started an investigation based only on social media posts with no evidence. The response from basketball fans has been huge and fast. People are angry about how the WNBA has handled this on many platforms. Many point out the hypocrisy of ignoring online abuse aimed at some players while quickly acting on unproven accusations in the arena. Others say this fits a pattern of the WNBA being uncomfortable with its own success. Every time viewership goes up and new people pay attention, there seems to be an effort to create controversy instead of celebrating growth. Perhaps the most frustrating part is that it overshadows the real basketball being played. The WNBA product has never been better. The talent level is unmatched. The game has evolved to include more three-point shooting, faster pace, and more scoring. Rookies are coming into the league more prepared than ever. Veterans are extending their careers. At the center of this comeback is CaitlinClark, whose game has improved dramatically since her rookie year. She has become more efficient. She has answered questions about her defense. She keeps making history with her special mix of playmaking and scoring. She is having an amazing second season. But instead of celebrating these achievements, the league is determined to find ways to downplay them. There seems to be a deliberate effort to limit Clark's impact instead of using her fame to grow the WNBA as a whole. This strategy hurts every WNBA player, not just Clark. A rising tide lifts all boats. When more people watch because of Clark, they discover players like Aja Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Angel Reese, Kelsey Plum, and many other amazing athletes. These new fans don't just watch Fever games. They become fans of women's basketball overall. The numbers prove this. Viewership is up for all WNBA broadcasts, not just Fever games. Social media engagement is up across the league. Merchandise sales have increased for every team. Clark's popularity is not hurting other players. It is helping the entire league. So why is there so much resistance? Brennan's reporting suggests it might be about control. For many years, the WNBA operated in a small bubble. there wasn't much media attention. There weren't many passionate fans. The league had a lot of control over its own story. Clark has disrupted that by bringing unpredictable, uncontrolled mainstream attention. Some people in the league seem to prefer the smaller, more controlled environment of the past. They were comfortable with steady growth and the existing order. Clark represents fast, unpredictable growth that challenges established structures and changes the balance of power. This story is as old as business itself. Established interests often resist change even when it has clear benefits. Just think of how taxi companies fought ride-sharing apps, or how the music industry fought streaming. Change is scary, especially when it threatens power structures. But those who resist inevitable change usually end up on the wrong side of history. Right now, the WNBA has an incredible opportunity. It can take advantage of this unprecedented attention, welcome new fans, and grow the league to new heights. But if Brennan's reporting is accurate, some people in the league are actively fighting this growth. The irony is painful. After years of fighting for more media coverage, more fans, and more money, some in the league seem ready to undermine their own success because it isn't happening exactly the way they wanted. Personally, I just want to focus on the basketball. CaitlinClark has handled this situation with amazing grace. She said, "I have no control over anything other than how I play and interact with others." Her teammate Aaliyah Boston, the former #1 pick, has embraced her instead of feeling threatened. When asked about the reported agenda against Clark, Boston said, "It is disappointing to see. That level of maturity is impressive for any athlete, let alone a 23-year-old in her second pro season." Her other teammates have been just as supportive. They know how hard she works and what she means to the team. The Golden State Valkyries coach, Natalie Nakase, also deserves credit. She was honest about her experience with Indiana and said everyone who truly loves women's basketball should celebrate Clark's contributions. Her honesty stands in stark contrast to the anonymous sources who pushed the racist story on social media after the game. The most worrying part of Brennan's findings might be how it could affect the All-Star game in Indianapolis this summer. According to her sources, there have already been talks about possibly moving the event because of the unproven claims from that Fever Valkyries game. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you are a Clark fan, comment below. And if you are not subscribed, do that now because this story is far from over. We will see you in the next one.